Yeah, I think casual players can definitely find the legendary dogs. There's not much of a barrier to entry to them, right? It's just complete Johto, like complete one region, and then we don't know the rate, I will say, but if we go in the middle, the devs did confirm that it's somewhere between a 1 out of 1001 and a 1 out of 7,999 rate. So we know it's not 1 out of 8K, we know it's not 1 out of 1K. So if we go in the middle there and say it's like 1 out of 4K, that's like, let's bring up the handy dandy Windows calculator. If you hunt efficiently, you should be able to get around 300 encounters per hour single. If you use lures and stuff, which I should be popping lures. So we'll do, let's say it's 4K. Let's just, no one knows the rate. The rate has not been released. We don't know it. This is just a speculation. But if we say the rate's 4K, we divide that by 300. 13 hours. Yeah, I'd say casual players can absolutely, you have a whole month. You have a whole month to do like a 14-hour hunt on average. Obviously it could be longer, could be shorter, but a whole month to do a 14-hour, I think it's very, very casual friendly to get the legendary dogs, even every month if you want to. I'd say most things in PokeMMO are casual friendly. Like, I think most things a casual player can get, it may take them a little longer, but it depends. But like I think that the two things that I would say that are kind of off the table for casual players, which I think is rightfully so, egg hunts, so rare shiny hunts, they're just way too expensive and take way too long. They're meant to be with like the 0.01% of players. So like egg hunts and rare shiny hunts, and then like hyper expensive vanities. So once you reach vanities that cost like over 100 mil, that you might put get that as a casual player, but like it's pushing it at that point, right? So like really expensive vanities, and then like vanities over 100 mil or over 80 mil or whatever, and then yeah, rare shinies. That's probably out of range for casual players, but I think 99.9% of the game is like super doable by casual players, like 1 to 2 hours a day type play, or even less players, right? Like 4 hours on the weekends or something. Even like Mount Silver is like a really, really doable for any one type of goal. It's gonna take a little bit. It's not gonna be easy, but it's very doable. You know, all 4 regions done, and then completing the Pokedex. That, you know, for like a super hyper casual player, it may take a couple 100 hours, but I think it's very, 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 very doable. That's literally like the one piece of like end game restricted content where like you literally can't access it without having a certain thing done. So I think it's super fair and reasonable. I think it worries me when new players come to a game and start crying or being upset that certain content isn't accessible to them. Not every piece of content should be available to every player or new players. You should have to work for endgame content. You should have to work to get to or be able to do certain types of content. Not all of it, of course, but Pokemon is largely like casual and new player friendly, especially PokeMMO. I think I'd be happy to see way more endgame. I think most people will like endgame and like locked off content. It's good to have those goals for new players to shoot for and be excited to one day reach. Being locked out of something makes you more excited and more meaningful when you actually achieve it. Seems crazy we can catch a new dog every month, but there's no way to get the dogs out of the game. I kind of feel like the quills would be something you can honestly trade a dog to get. Yeah, I think the idea, they can't be bred, right? That might be something they introduce down the road, because a dog sync, a legendary sync might become a necessary feature at some point, for sure. Definitely something to keep in mind. If there's nothing to work towards, there's no point to playing in the first place. Yeah, it's good to have like the way, especially the way this is always explained in MMOs. One of my favorite things when I'm new to an MMO, I want to go to the hub city, like Vermilion, for example, for here, and see people with shiny Charizards, see people with Q hats, or like the Flaming Skull masks, right? They're like 1 bill Pokeyen. See those, see them look so cool, and be like, man, what is that? I have no idea. Like, what is that? How do I get that? And like seeing those like late game, end game chads in like hub cities of game, like the most MMO thing is to like see that and be like, damn, I want that. One day that'll be me. Like, that's how goals are set in MMOs for the most part, like socially, by seeing people flex.